Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I am uploading two videos, one on the wintry side and one on the severe side of Winter Storm Quinlan. This is the wintry side video. The severe storm video will be uploading at the same time, and that will be linked in the description as well as in the cards if you want to watch that too. But we are looking at a potential bomb cyclone off the East Coast with Winter Storm Quinlan. And this storm could be rapidly intensifying from not only just off the coast, but from the south to off the coast. So the area of low pressure is expected to become a bomb cyclone, which means that it's dropping 24 millibars in 24 hours, which is rapid intensification. So right now we do have some snowy conditions across parts of the Midwest, including Kansas City, areas north and west of St. Louis, and Chicago. During the day on Friday, we are expected to see a kind of band of snowfall from the northeast all the way back into New Mexico, and that kind of tilts to like counterclockwise as it works its way north. And into Saturday, we see this storm continuing to rapidly intensify into the northeast, and the Weather Channel has very limited snowfall totals. This is very bearish on this storm, except for in the northeast, where the Weather Channel has this very bullish. So the bomb cyclone is basically just a rapid intensification of the storm. So you can see here in this animation that the storm is getting much stronger. Those winds are going to be much stronger, as well as this area here, this red area, is the pressure of the storm. The pressure will be dropping insanely quickly. It will drop at least 24 millibars in 24 hours or less. Now, there is a high wind threat this weekend in parts of the Northeast, including Norfolk, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York, Boston, Bangor, Maine, Burlington, Vermont, and Syracuse, New York, and eventually up into parts of maritime Canada as well. So, let's take a look at our Nws Hazards. You can see here that we have our current situation in the west with winter storm warnings in Colorado, New Mexico, Kansas, and Missouri, as well as winter weather advisories in Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Kansas, Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Nebraska, Iowa, and Illinois, and winter storm watches in Kentucky, Ohio, West Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. And I expect that those winter storm watches could be leaking further south and east with the current trends of this storm. Speaking of the trends with this storm, the NAM 3-kilometer model has been showing a more easterly track with this storm system. So we can see that band of snowfall stretching from Albuquerque, New Mexico to Detroit, Michigan, moving through the country on Friday, and eventually we start to see it sweep to the south, where we see that storminess occur, and that is in the severe threat part of this kind of dual video setup here. But you can see that the northern end of this stretch kind of weakens off, and we see more of that attention go to the south, even though this low pressure up here does keep that northern part there, just, mostly light to moderate. But that moderate to heavy snowfall could start to generate here in parts of Arkansas, eastern Texas, eventually into areas such as Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, maybe even into Louisiana as well. And then already we're seeing this storm starting off. This low pressure is at 1,005 millibars. This is at 39 hours. So by the end of this stretch here, this is this rapid intensification stretch. We have a lot of moisture getting pulled up from the Gulf that's crossing in with this cold air from Canada, and we can see that right along that rain snow line is where you're going to be seeing your heaviest snowfall. But this low pressure will be intensifying, but also moving fairly quickly as it moves into the northeast, with a long stretch of snow starting in Albany, New York, and stretching all the way back to Atlanta. So basically an entire East Coast storm here, 990 millibars here, and very intense snowfall rates. You can see that little pink area. That is definitely over an inch an hour. Typically right around this dark blue is where you start to see an inch an hour, low visibility, very tough road conditions to drive in. Now, as this storm continues to move through, it moves off the coast, which is a very key detail because some of the early model runs for this storm kept it on the coast, or on land, and that would kind of reduce some of the intensification. But now that we're seeing it go over the Atlantic Ocean, we could see that intensification, those winds, those strong snowfall rates, those heavy rains, maybe some heavy sleet as well, all pick up more, quickly. So as this storm continues to move through, we see kind of the low pressure retreat a little bit, and this will add to some snowfall in parts of New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and eventually into southern parts of New England, and eventually into Maine. Now, there's two different snowfall totals that I want to look at here. This is the Kuchera ratio, which is based on temperatures. Now, this is showing a lot more snow here. Let me refresh so I can get my readout. It's showing potentially up to a foot of snow in West Virginia, and then across the board in parts of New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, even Connecticut, Massachusetts, potentially over a foot as well. Now, this is very bullish for this time of year. So what I used in my forecast is the Ferrier-Rime correction, which is kind of a more subdued snow to liquid ratio. Now, this is showing a general area of 6 to 12 inches from Tennessee up through Maine, and a very thin stretch at that. And outside of that thin stretch, very minimal snowfall totals. So I have my own map here where this is subject to change, of course. This could change with upcoming model runs, but at the moment, it's looking like in this light blue area, which is most of the central part of the country, 0 to 3 inches, very light. This is before that rapid intensification. The only area that's going to be seeing more than 3 inches is potentially some areas of Missouri, where you could see some snow set up for a longer period of time. No intense snowfall rates, just some light snow over a prolonged period of time, as well as in the mountains where you could see some heavy snowfall totals as well, but that's currently ongoing. Now, in terms of this East Coast stretch, that final stretch, the rapid intensification, all of that, 3 to 6 inches in this area in dark blue. That includes areas of Mississippi, Alabama, and then eventually into, Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, and even areas such as, maybe Boston in that area, parts of the New York City metropolitan area, areas northwest of Philadelphia, maybe some areas southeast of Pittsburgh. DC is right around there, as well as Baltimore in that 3 to 6 inch range. The pink area here, this is 6 to 12 inch range, which includes Charleston, West Virginia, areas of east central Pennsylvania, areas like Albany, New York, and then eventually into areas maybe like Concord and Manchester, New Hampshire, and then eventually into Maine. I would maybe extend this pink area into Maine, so these areas in blue, 3 to 6 inches, could see 6 or 7 depending on banding and intensity. These areas in pink, 6 to 12 inches, could see either 3 to 6 or 6 to 12, again based on that intensity. And in 0 to 3, maybe you could see some areas with 4 inches of snow. But in general, if anywhere in this range of the eastern part of this storm, this red line here, the low pressure line, or the track of the low pressure, if that shifts slightly to the east, we could see this band of heavier snowfall move closer to the major population centers of Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, DC, even Norfolk, Virginia. If it moves further west, you could see this band set up maybe even into areas such as, Nashville, Tennessee, Pittsburgh, maybe into areas such as Syracuse, Rochester area, Burlington, Vermont, areas like that. So this red line, which is where the low pressure is going to track, if that shifts, that could severely increase or decrease your snowfall totals based on where it shifts. But that is all the information that I have for this storm. If you want any, finer details, just comment a region in the comments down below, and I can give you guys a more detailed explanation for your area. I'm very willing to do that. So I hope you found this video informative, but that is all I have for this storm at the moment. If there is anything that happens over the next 24 to 48 hours, I will post another video with some more information. But if you want to see that video if it comes out, subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss that video, as well as go check out that severe storms video that is going to be impacting areas of the southeast. But that is all I have for today. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.